Has anybody seen The Karate Kid? That's right, hello everybody, my name is Sankar and welcome back to another Satisfaction Saturday video. In today's video, if you didn't already realize, this week I'm going to be doing Daniel's training from The Karate Kid. Let's get right into it, starting off, washing the car. A little wax on, wax off. After a week of the training, there are only two questions that we have to answer. One, is the training effective? And two, are the moves effective? So, question one, is the training effective? The answer is, yeah, very much so. The training is very effective for learning the moves and can easily be adapted to practice any move that you want to do. You know, you can paint the fence like this or whatever you want to do. It all works. So yes, the training is very effective. I noticed that halfway through wax on, wax off, that my muscles loosened very quickly and I was able to do the move a lot more naturally and a lot faster. So, second question is, are the moves effective? And this is, it's a yes and no. Yes, in that the moves work, they are very effective, but there are better ways to do it. However, I have also come up with some other applications for each of the movements that we did this week that could be quite effective. So, to start off, wax on, wax off in the Karate Kid was used as a blocking technique. And it's not the best blocking technique, but if you actually do the training, it can be pretty fast and very effective, especially for a beginner. So, if you do a straight punch, then that blocks quite well. It also blocks even better. This was seen in Cobra Kai against the very common right hook. This is what a lot of people start off with a very choreographed right hook. And that blocks it quite well and lift. Don't even need to think about it, your arm can just go up. Very easily blocks that, no problem, and your arm should be strong from all the training. Now some other applications of it is that it can actually be used for an attack, but first of all, yeah, blocking is pretty good. If you're in a, casual stance, then that move is pretty good for getting your arm up really quick. As opposed to a normal block, if you're in this position, then you just put your hand out like that, just to block, and that's easy enough and works better than any of the moves we've learned today. But from a standing position, a casual position, if you're in self-defense situation, it is very effective to just do that. So some other applications for it, I've come up with some attacking moves that can be used with it. They're not the best. Some of them work pretty well, there are some that don't, but they're also attacking and defending. So for starters, your wax on, if you put your hand out like that, it's a good strike to the cheek there, like that. That's the same movement, and it's all the same. You just sort of change where your arm is, but the movement is the same. That's what's good about this sort of training, is that it can train a lot of things. So there's that for starters. You can also, of course, go into a backhand, like that. Now, I think my favorite one is a wax on, wax off combo. So if you were to come in with a punch, do it slow. Okay. You wax on, grab the wrist, and then wax off. And you've got them in this position. Very easy, and it's after the training that is incredibly natural. You will have to practice, you will have to spar with all of this. Daniel did that as well to get your timings right, but it works very effectively. Like that. If you work that with a step. The first time we tried it, I accidentally almost threw her on the ground, so it's quite effective. After wax on, wax off was washing the windows or paint the fence, up, down. Again, these paint the fence and paint the house are probably the best moves, I would say. Wax on, wax off can be quite effective for beginners, but this one is a lot more straightforward. So, paint the fence, up, down, or wipe the windows, was shown as a high and low block. So, to the face there, like that, and low, like that. Same with the other hand. Low with that one, like that, and it's pretty effective for that. It's quick and straightforward. There's not, it doesn't get much better. It's pretty straightforward, and you can get in it from a low position. From here, just whip your arm up. From here, it would have to be that, sand the floor. But yeah, it's pretty good. Some other applications for it, you could use it as a basic strike to the chin there. You just flex your fingers down and strike upwards. It's like an uppercut, but it's faster than an uppercut. It's just straight up, bam. Not as effective, but quicker, and would disorient well enough. Another move is a combination of up-down for a push. So if you were to put your hands there, so obviously the hands probably wouldn't be there, but it's a guard breaker on the up. Breaks through, and then on the down, like that, and that is just up down with a step to push. It's very simple and pretty effective for someone who's not expecting it to just do that. So if she's punching in, go down, and then bam, right in the face. That's just paint the fence, up, down, block, strike. They all flow so well together. They just work well. So next would be my paint the fence, which is paint the house, side to side. Again, this one is just for blocking the straight punch. Side to side, straight punch, easy, again. Yeah. So that block's, again, quite effective. It's quick, it's simple. If you're in that position to just slap it to the side. It doesn't get much easier than that, and it's very quick, especially after the training. That movement, it's all on the wrist, so it's really easy. It's really easy to do that. So, some applications of that one. My first one that I noticed was, other than blocking, it's also very good for a punch. That if you do the backwards motion of paint the house, that one, and then you just do it forward and make a fist at the end, it is surprisingly good. It's basically a jab, but it's like twice as fast. I noticed. Even before the training, if you just jab with that motion instead. First I would, of course, you have to learn how to jab properly before you do that, otherwise you'll mess it up. But it works quite well, and is a lot faster than your regular jab. It's about twice as fast, I would say. Which might not be a lot, but definitely makes the difference in combat. And then for the other movement, if you just do that and then extend it outwards, that's a palm strike. That's just paint the fence, but that way. So if you just focus on the movement of paint the house and then turn it into a jab or a palm, then you'll find that it's actually pretty quick and very effective. Other, of course, is you can backhand, front hand. They both work. Good striking movements. This is also a very good move if you go right across. That's also a bit of wax on, wax, and then that is hard to block. Strike the temple, easy knockout, even if you got your guard up, right, and it passes behind the guard like that. It's a very powerful move to strike with. So last but not least, we have sand the floor. Sand the floor, or in my case, scrub the floor. Sand the floor, basically the opposite of wax on, wax off, was shown as a front kick, a block for a front kick, like that in the Karate Kid, which at first I didn't think was going to be very good, but it is actually surprisingly effective if the kick is going to the stomach there. So you don't have the best front kick, but it works. That was pretty good. So like that, it does block, even you can do it, sand the floor. And it works. And trust me, my aim is right on. If there is, yeah, some more force in either of us, that would still be enough to stop that front kick from coming. I don't know if it would work against the front kick to the face, because the move is meant to be so low, but give it a shot. Oh, it works pretty well. Yeah, that was going towards her face and still blocked. So, yeah, surprisingly effective. I didn't think it would be, but it is. But also, with sand the floor, there's a lot of times if you're just using these moves in basic sparring, blocking punches, your arsenal feels a bit empty, like there's a spot missing. That's where sand the floor goes if you're in it and you're moving, and then you need a block low. Sand the floor definitely comes in, even if you're like here and you want to go sand the floor. It's quick, it's round, nice and easy. Yeah, if you sparred like this, you you would want sand the floor in you. And we tried it the other day before I did sand the floor, and I definitely felt like it was missing. Another thing, it can also block the round kick to your side. Works quite well, or even a punch to the side. I wouldn't recommend it against someone who is very good at kicking, like Muay Thai fighters, or someone like me who can kick really hard from kicking trees a lot. It might injure your arm, but it's better than breaking your ribs, I guess, so it's situational if there's nothing better you can do. But for actually for blocking the round kick, I would suggest wax on. Not so much for blocking, but rather catch the kick. So can you do a round kick here? Wax on, catch the kick. You have to step away from the kick as well. That's you. And then you can step in for the trip. Step in behind their leg and push them down. So that would be more recommended than simply blocking it. But it does work. You can block it. And it goes down to your leg, so you can block kicks on your leg too. But I would again just rather recommend just raising your leg if that's the case. That blocks it better, quicker, easier, less risk. Just raise your knee. But yeah, definitely has some applications. As for some attacks, again, it's good for a solid strike to the face. It actually works as quite a good hook, so that's your regular hook. And then if you do that again with the sand the floor technique, it's pretty fast, pretty unexpected. It is more choreographed though, that comes around, but you can tighten that up and it gets your hook into actually pretty good, pretty fast, and can also go into an elbow as well. So same technique. So if I were to come in and you block that, then you can sand the floor into an elbow. You just, yeah, it's the same movement. Sand the floor, you just bring it in. All the moves have their bunch of different applications that aren't shown in the Karate Kid, as well as the ones that are shown in the movie. They are more effective than I thought they would be, to be honest. I thought they were too choreographed, too big to be as effective as any of the other stuff. All the other regular blocks are probably better, but for beginners, for someone practicing at home, don't have anyone to spar with, you want to wax on, wax off, it gets the movement going, and it's good for beginners who like to use big movements, who aren't as concise as trained fighters. Then these are surprisingly effective moves, and they're quick. They all link up together as well. They all go well together. And I noticed all the blocks we were sparring the other day. I was just having her throw punches and kicks, and I was using these movements only to block them. So if you just throw some punches, you'll notice that if you do it right, all of the blocks actually leave her in a very open position. There, right now I've got her back. I've got everything over here and she can't do anything about it because her hands were over there. So if you go straight, again, do that again. Go straight from there, wax on, strike. That's pretty effective. Same with all the other moves. That leaves that whole thing open. She's right open there. Easier to block because she's got that hand there, but still. And that's brought her face up there. Oh, that's another thing with the up down. So if she's punching in, go down, and then bam, right in the face. That's just paint the fence, up, down, block, strike. They all flow so well together. It just works well. And again, you can do that with any of the movements. You can go into wax on, you can go to paint the fence, or you can just go straight down, up. It all works out really well. Same with the punch to the face with the up, strike. Yeah, it all works well. It all flows together. You'll find after training that it flows well. It flows well together. And it's fast. The training is very effective. You get an hour's worth of training done in what feels like not very long, like 10 minutes. Oh, I think everything I did not feel long enough. It felt like 10 minutes, but then I checked the time and it had been at least an hour. So the training is very good. It keeps you distracted, so you're not just like practicing the movement 1,000 times over and over, but you're doing something else to distract you, and then your muscles just learn. They loosen up on their own, even if you're not thinking about it. These movements were a lot stiffer before. I was still pretty good at them because I've trained a lot, but after this training, they're all very loose. It feels natural to just do these. So yeah, in short, training's good. Moves are pretty good. I think the best one is the wax on, wax off combo to get the in the arm lock there is very effective. They work for self-defense against untrained fighters especially. Trained fighters, it might be a little harder to fight against, but if you practice enough it works. And of course you have to spar with these moves to get the right timing, get everything right, to perfect the movements and everything. But the training alone gets the movements down, then you have to spar for the application. So I believe now it's time for the fun part, and you're up.
Either you karate do yes or karate do no. You karate do gesso. Just like grip. かい always look I.
So that concludes our video for today. Just a couple things I wanted to say to wrap up. First of all, training, very effective, but was it fun? Was it satisfying? Yeah, I can say it was. What wasn't fun, I mean, it's not fun to wash a car and paint the fence and wipe the windows. Isn't exactly fun, it's a monotonous task, but the reward you get for it definitely is a lot of fun to see it pay off and be able to just do these moves so well after the training, so that even after the first day, after wax on, wax off, from there on it was a lot of fun. So last week we did Manjome's Hell. That was the foundations for satisfaction. That was the gaining the will to do anything. And this week, I thought about last week while doing it. It definitely helped. I feel like I have that willpower to do anything now, to be satisfied. That's awesome. So, but also this week was more aiming towards my actual goal, and that goal is to make martial arts a part of my life again. It was for a very long time until uni started and things got in the way, and it sort of died down. So yeah, this training definitely helped with that. It definitely feels like I'm back into it. I'm a martial artist again, I'm back into it, and I'm definitely going to incorporate this type of training into my routine from now on. Obviously, I'm practicing different moves, practicing my actual moves from my martial art, rather than the karate moves, but those ones, surprisingly effective, they're pretty good. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and give this video a share. That's what helps me out the most, is when you share these videos. And of course, be sure to follow at the Team Satisfaction on Instagram. The Team Satisfaction on Instagram. Give that a follow. Send me your goals. Send me how you're doing in your own satisfaction. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, satisfy me. See ya.